Everyone is welcome here, it's time to make new friends. Fill your Glencairn. Share a dram with the spirit of Edmonton. Luncha!
Good evening, Whiskey Brothers, Whiskey Sisters, Whiskey Friends, and welcome to episode 38 of the Canadian Whisky Journey's Whiskey Review. I'm Dolph. I'm your host tonight. I'm here with Blair, co-author to this book right there, The Definitive Guide to Canadian Distilleries. And Blair, what are we continuing our Canadian Whisky Journey with tonight, kind sir?
We are sampling some Canadian Club 100% rye. This is a release from 2014 was when this came out, and it's still kicking and alive and well.
And this took over for, they had the rye before, what was that called? Something man before.
Well, they had the Chairman Select.
Chairman, there we go.
Yeah, and I you know what? I can't remember what the story is with the Chairman Select, if they pulled it off the Canadian label or pulled it off the American label or pulled it off both. I'm not sure.
Okay, well, here's the bottle so people could see it. They even have the tasting notes, but I never pay attention to their own tasting notes, really. So there, that was it. And yeah, it's you convinced me to do this whiskey, and I gotta say it feels a little bit weird doing a macro distillery instead of a micro distillery, because these are one of the big boys, right? It's and a little bit of research shows us that we can see that they sold, and that's in thousands of cases. So multiply that by 1,000, we got 1,128,000 cases that they sold into the States. Is just the States. It's sold in 150 different countries, by the way. So this, and then if you multiply that by 9 liters each, you're at over 10 million cases, or 10 million liters is going into the system out there, into the States. So they drink a lot of this, and this is not a mom and pop operation, right? So
yeah, I think those stats might be skewed towards the Standard Canadian Club, the 1858, I think it is.
All of it.
Yeah,
or maybe
all of it. I don't know. Yeah. This one I don't think has as wide a distribution as their mothership brand, but the reason why I want to convince you to do this is because you're a lover of rye whiskey, and this is distilled and aged in Alberta at Alberta Distillers and not at Hiram Walker. Yeah.
And we love that place. They put out some fantastic whiskey for us, don't they?
Exactly. And the big difference is that if you think of Alberta Distillers, you think of Alberta Premium as their core brand. Yeah. There's a bit of a difference between the way they make this and that. Alberta Premium is mostly made using the column still to make the distillate, whereas I believe this whiskey is all pot still at the distillery.
Excellent.
Or a majority of pot still.
You were at that distillery, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Where I tried. I'm going to get in there one day. I just got to do another couple hundred of these videos, maybe, and then eventually I'll get in there. So, and you know what? On the nose, it's fantastic. So I'm enjoying that. They're owned by Beam Suntory, and you know what? It doesn't. I don't want to say this. I've passed this. I've gone shopping for whiskey thousands of times in my life, and I've passed this bottle hundreds of times, maybe 1,000 times, and I haven't picked it up. I don't know if I've had it in the past or not had it, but I'm kind of enjoying the nose, to tell you the truth. So this is no water, no ice. It's just pure. And we said if we can't stomach it straight up, then we shouldn't do it on the show. But you assured me we could. So
yeah, it's severely underrated in my opinion. When they released this whiskey, it was released as a something that it was really geared towards bartenders as a cocktail whiskey. Okay. But it's so much more versatile than that. You could have it, like, it does make excellent Manhattans, all that kind of stuff, but sipping it like this, it does it all, and on ice does it too. And
well, I'm getting into the highballs right now too. So this with, I'm not sure how much, but type of water is it? It's not tonic water. It's the soda water. That might be great with this too, just the spiciness of it.
Hey, summer's coming, right?
It's perfect summer drink. So on the nose, you get the vanilla. It's in three different types of wood. It's in New American Oak. It's used bourbon and Canadian or barrels that held Canadian whiskey as well. So I couldn't find any combination, any numbers to go behind that. What percent of each one? But
no, it's blended. It's blended to flavor, so it's consistent. Like I'm pretty sure if I had a batch from 2014 and I put the new batch against it, it would be I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Yeah.
And you figure this probably came out right after Crown Royal did their Northern Harvest Rye.
Oh, I think it was before.
Was it before?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that. I know this is live, but I'm pretty sure.
Someone out there can tell us. And Brian, cheers to you, kind sir. And okay, so on the nose, it's vanilla. No sweetness for me. And I think in some of the notes out there, I saw sweetness on the nose. I'm not getting sweet. I'm getting dry on the nose.
It has sort of almost like a floral note as well, I found.
Yep.
Then your vanilla caramel, and there's this like pop of toasted grains and spices kind of thing. It's not rye spices as in you're nailing out each one. It's kind of like a combination of like that cinnamon and clove and all that kind of stuff.
It's spicy. It's Christmas cakey. Like it's got them all. Yeah, just not the sweetness, and that's a good thing for me. I'm not a huge fan of sweet on the palate or on the nose. What? All right, I'm delving in. Now it's young though, because you get that acetone in there a little bit. A little bit more sweet on the palate than it was on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
Not sweet, just sweeter.
Yeah, you get some of those like sweet and sour fruits. This rye is very fruity for a rye. I'd say it's at the high end of the spectrum compared to other Canadian 100% ryes in that fruity character.
And the floral, I'm still getting. I would say hay-like or grass-like, maybe. I'm not even sure.
A little bit.
I'll get to that in a bit, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, those baking spices, like the cloves and cinnamon and bit of an orange citrus, like an orange peel note.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying that, but I'm going to keep it on the palate. It's got a fairly nice mouthfeel, and people with Canadian whiskey were used to a really rich mouthfeel. This is 100% rye, though, and it's malted rye, is it not? I was going to ask you.
Not 100% sure.
I'm not. I think if it was unmalted, we would have a more full kind of traditional Canadian mouthfeel to it. This is a little bit drier, which I like, which comes with a lot of the ryes I get from the States, where it's malted rye.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's something you'd have to ask Alberta's premium.
And I'm going to ask you, is the reason we're doing this because we're going to do the Canadian Club 44-year-old soon? Is that why we're kind of do the comparison when it comes up?
Yeah, well, I've wondered about that because some of the rye whiskeys in Canadian Club Chronicle series that bring out that pop of that flavor. It's kind of I sort of wonder if it's also from Alberta Distillers, but I'm not sure.
We do some things right in Alberta. Our politics, maybe not, but we make some pretty fantastic rye.
Yeah.
You know what? This is 40%, 750 mils. It drinks like a 40%. It drinks like a 3 to 5 year old, and it's well worth the price. I think $25. This would, I think, in average, you could probably even get it cheaper on sale at different times. I think this is a good thing to have up and to give to people.
The LCBO is about $40 at the LCBO. So
40?
Yeah.
Sorry. I didn't mean to do. I'm bragging again. I always do that a little bit. I think 25 is where All right. No, I'm enjoying it. The finish is short. It's the heat lingers, but it's not a really heavy heat, and it's not in the back of the throat like happens often with some ryes. It's a heat that's your whole mouth, not overpowering, just your whole mouth. The heat lingers, but and I want to say the spice lingers a little bit. Hold on, I'm gonna try again.
Oh, it definitely does.
The slightest bit of sweet goes away right away. Yeah, and a spice, but I'm getting a herbal thing again.
Yep.
And I don't think it's the hay or grass I was saying. There's something else. It is herbal though. And that stays on the finish for a little bit.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm enjoying it. It's good. I'm glad you convinced me to do this, and it took a little bit of convincing to do it. Not a lot, just a bit. But it would be neat to see if there's any similarity between this and the Chronicle series whatsoever. Because the Chronicle series, I think that has a lot of, well, what's the mash bill, or what's the combination?
It's the Chronicles is it's all corn whiskey, but depending on the year, they blend in a bit of old rye, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Right. And yeah, I'm just wondering out loud.
Okay, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll see something. Maybe we'll see nothing. All right, sir. This was fantastic. Thank you very much. And we will see you next week. We're not exactly sure what we're going to do next week. I want to do the 44-year-old rye, but maybe we have to wait. We'll see. You'll give me the okay when I can put that out.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers. Have a fantastic week, everybody, and I'll see you all. Thank you for joining us, and thanks for joining us in the future, whenever you do. Have a good night.